My name is Daniel Foster. I'm 38 years old, and until 6 months ago, I thought my marriage was built on trust. My wife, Charlotte, and I lived in a small rented house in Birmingham. It wasn't perfect. The boiler broke every winter. The garden was little more than a patch of mud. The landlord ignored our calls. But I had a dream. I wanted to buy Charlotte a proper home, a place where we could raise children, build memories, and grow old together. The problem was that dreams are expensive. For nearly a year, I worked longer hours than ever before. I arrived at the office before sunrise and often returned home long after dark. Charlotte didn't know the real reason. I wanted it to be a surprise. Every spare pound I earned went into savings. Every lunch break was spent speaking to estate agents. Every weekend was filled with house viewings. The stress was exhausting, but whenever I imagined Charlotte's face when she saw our future home, it felt worth it. Then everything changed. One rainy Thursday evening, I arrived home later than usual. The house was strangely quiet. No television, no music, no smell of dinner, just silence. As soon as I stepped into the living room, I saw Charlotte sitting at the dining table. There was a stack of papers in front of her. She looked cold, distant, almost like a stranger. "Daniel," she said quietly, "sit down. We need to talk." My stomach tightened. Something felt wrong. I sat across from her. Before I could speak, she slid the papers across the table. I looked down. Divorce papers. For a moment, I thought it was some kind of joke. Then I saw her expression. She was serious. Completely serious. "I want a divorce." The words hit me harder than any punch. "What?" I whispered. "I can't do this anymore." I stared at her. "Charlotte, what are you talking about?" She folded her arms. "The late nights, the excuses, the broken house, the fact that we're still renting, the fact that we still don't have children." Her voice grew sharper with every sentence. "I've spent years waiting for our life to start." I tried to interrupt, but she wouldn't let me. "You always say things will get better. You always promise. But nothing changes." Tears filled her eyes. "I'm tired of waiting." I felt my heart sinking. If she would only let me explain. Just 5 more minutes. That's all I needed. But Charlotte wasn't finished. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. "I've been spending time with Oliver." I blinked. Oliver, my best friend, the man I'd known since university. She nodded. "He's successful. He owns property. He has children around him all the time. He knows what he wants from life." I felt physically sick. The room seemed smaller, the walls closer. "Are you saying you're leaving me for Oliver?" She didn't answer immediately. That answer told me everything. The silence hurt more than words ever could. Eventually, she pushed a pen towards me. "Just sign." I stared at the papers. Years of marriage, gone, reduced to a few sheets of paper. Part of me wanted to fight, to beg, to explain everything. But then something inside me broke. I picked up the pen, signed my name, and slid the papers back. Charlotte looked relieved, as though a burden had finally been lifted. Then I smiled, not because I was happy, because suddenly none of it mattered anymore. "There is something you should know before I go." Her expression changed. "What?" I stood slowly. "The reason I've been coming home late wasn't because I stopped caring." I reached into my briefcase, pulled out a folder, and placed it on the table. Charlotte frowned. "What is this?" "Open it." Her hands trembled as she looked inside. The color drained from her face. Mortgage documents, property contracts, estate paperwork, photographs, the house, a beautiful detached home in Surrey, 5 bedrooms, large garden, quiet neighborhood, excellent schools nearby, the exact kind of home Charlotte had always dreamed about. I watched her eyes widen. "Daniel," I nodded. "I bought it this afternoon." The room became completely silent. "I got promoted today," I continued. "The late nights weren't excuses. I was working overtime to qualify for the mortgage. The early mornings were because I was meeting estate agents before work. I spent the last year building the future you wanted." Tears appeared in Charlotte's eyes. Real tears. The kind that come when regret arrives too late. "Oh my God." She covered her mouth. "I'm so sorry." I said nothing. She stood up. "Daniel, please. I didn't know. I thought." "You thought Oliver was a better option." Her face fell. I could see the shame, but I wasn't finished. "Since Oliver was my best friend, I know things about him that social media doesn't show." She froze. "What do you mean?" I looked directly into her eyes. "The property he keeps posting online? It's being repossessed. The bank is taking it back." Her face turned pale. "The business? It's drowning in debt. The expensive lifestyle? Mostly financed by loans." Charlotte looked as though she might collapse. But there was one final truth. The children in his videos aren't his relatives. Her eyes widened. I nodded slowly. "They're his children." Charlotte's breathing stopped. "He never told you about them, did he?" The silence that followed felt endless. For the first time all evening, she looked terrified. Not because she was losing me, because she realized she never truly knew the man she had chosen. Tears streamed down her face. "Daniel, please." But I shook my head. The pain was still there. The betrayal still hurt. Yet strangely, I felt free. I picked up my keys, walked towards the door, then paused. Without turning around, I said quietly, "I spent years trying to build a future for us. You spent one evening destroying it." The sound of her crying filled the room, but I didn't stop walking. A few weeks later, I moved into my new home, alone. First, it felt empty. Then something unexpected happened. Peace arrived. Months later, I met someone new.